One lap of racing changed Formula One forever.
And lapped cars will not be allowed to overtake.
Hamilton and Verstappen entered the final race of 2021 dead even on points, and the chaos that unfolded in Abu Dhabi would spark the biggest controversy modern F1 has ever seen.
Lapped cars to overtake the safety car.
Mercedes dominated heading into the 2021 season with 7 straight constructors' titles under their belt, and Hamilton was hunting a record-breaking 8th championship. Red Bull had built something different though, and Verstappen wanted blood. 22 races of wheel-to-wheel combat followed, punctuated by dramatic crashes, complete disregard of the rulebook, and corrupt decisions that would rip the sport apart. Bahrain made it clear this was going to be a war from race 1. Verstappen started P1 with Hamilton behind him in P2, and the Dutchman led most of the race until a pit stop undercut gave Hamilton the jump. An off-track overtake forced Verstappen to hand the position back, which meant Hamilton took the win and grabbed the early championship lead with 21 races still to go. Relentless competition became the pattern almost immediately. Tricky wet conditions at Imola saw Verstappen muscle past Hamilton at the start before dominating the entire race, while Hamilton slid into the gravel mid-race but escaped with minimal damage, and a red flag helped him claw back to second. The championship gap tightened. Portugal brought another battle where Verstappen briefly got ahead after Hamilton made a mistake, but Hamilton regrouped and passed him on lap 11 before overtaking Bottas to control the race from the front. Another comfortable win extended his championship lead even further. Spain turned into a strategic masterclass when Hamilton and Verstappen went wheel-to-wheel at the start. Verstappen grabbed the early lead, but Mercedes pulled off a brilliant two-stop strategy that gave Hamilton fresher tires to hunt him down. Just a few laps remained when Hamilton passed him for the win. Monaco shifted everything. Verstappen led from pole, controlled every aspect of the race, and never faced a single threat, while Hamilton got stuck in traffic and limped home in a frustrating 7th. The championship lead changed hands for the first time, and it belonged to Verstappen. Chaos erupted in Azerbaijan. Verstappen was cruising toward an easy victory when a sudden tire blowout on the main straight killed his race instantly, and Hamilton had the perfect chance to retake the championship lead at the restart, but locked up in turn 1 and went straight off. 0 points for both drivers meant the title fight sat perfectly level. France saw the lead slip away from Verstappen on lap 1 after he ran wide, but Red Bull made a bold call with a two-stop strategy that put him on fresher tires to hunt Hamilton down. The second-to-last lap was all he needed to complete a brilliant comeback and extend his championship lead once again. Red Bull owned the momentum completely now. Flawless performances at Austria and Styria never put Verstappen under real pressure, and at Styria, he even had time for a fastest lap pit stop near the end, while Hamilton struggled with car damage and finished a distant 4th. 3 wins in a row for Verstappen, and the title momentum belonged entirely to Red Bull. Silverstone changed everything. And that's when things turned personal. Hamilton and Verstappen collided on the opening lap, which sent the Red Bull driver into the barriers at high speed and ended his race on the spot. A 10-second penalty was all Hamilton received, but he hunted down Leclerc anyway and won in front of his home crowd. The title fight wasn't just competitive anymore. More chaos hit at Hungary when Bottas triggered a massive crash in turn 1 that destroyed both Red Bull's hopes for the race. Verstappen's car took heavy damage, but he limped home in 9th place while Hamilton recovered from strategy missteps to finish 2nd. Red Bull's nightmare day handed the championship lead back to Hamilton. Relentless rain at Spa made racing impossible, and after just 2 laps behind the safety car, the race got called off with F1 rules, stating that less than 75% race completion means only half points get awarded. Verstappen won from pole. Hamilton took 3rd. Zandvoort saw Verstappen win on home soil before Monza brought another collision. Hamilton exited the pits right as Verstappen tried to squeeze through. They made contact, and the Red Bull ended up on top of the Mercedes. Both drivers were out. Both drivers kept trading blows as the season wore on. Russia saw Verstappen start from the back after an engine penalty, and he carved through the field before a smart tire call elevated him to a surprise 2nd place while Hamilton won. The title fight stayed alive. The United States brought an aggressive start from Verstappen that snatched the lead from Hamilton, but the race turned into a tense strategic battle where Hamilton closed in on fresher tires and chased him down in the final laps. Verstappen held on. Mexico saw Verstappen outbrake both Mercedes cars from P3 to snatch the lead at turn 1, and from there he controlled the race with ease while Hamilton defended against Perez in what became a dominant Verstappen win. One of the season's most iconic drives came at Brazil after a disqualification and grid penalty forced Hamilton to start 10th on race day. He carved through the entire field and even overtook Verstappen after a fierce wheel-to-wheel fight to take the win, which reignited the title fight with 3 races remaining. Pure mayhem erupted at Jeddah with multiple red flags, restarts, and collisions, creating absolute chaos, and Verstappen and Hamilton collided again after a controversial brake test incident. Hamilton powered through all the drama to win anyway. 21 races of crashes, controversies, and comebacks left Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton tied on points heading into the finale. The final race in Abu Dhabi would crown either Lewis Hamilton with a record-breaking 8th World Championship or give Max Verstappen his first title. Winner takes all, one race decides everything, and the entire world waited anxiously. Hamilton nailed the start and launched ahead into turn 1 to take the lead, while Verstappen tried an insane dive bomb on lap 1, but Hamilton stood his grounds and kept P1. Hamilton looked untouchable from there, extending the gap lap after lap, and with just a handful of laps remaining, the win seemed guaranteed. Nicholas Latifi crashed at turn 14, and that's when everything changed.
Nicholas Latifi has crashed, and I think that is at turn 14.
The safety car got deployed, Red Bull pitted Verstappen for fresh soft tires, but Mercedes stayed out because they weren't sure if there would be time for a restart. 5 lapped cars sat between them.
And lapped cars will not be allowed to overtake.
Race control sent out the initial message that those cars would not be allowed to unlap themselves. The race was supposed to end under a safety car, and race control appeared to have made up their mind about no more racing laps.
Lapped cars to overtake the safety car.
The decision reversed without warning. Only those 5 cars between Hamilton and Verstappen got told to unlap themselves. The safety car came in with no explanation, and just 1 lap of racing remained. Verstappen sat right behind Hamilton, suddenly with 1 lap and 1 chance to take it all. Soft tires versus old hard tires changed the equation completely. Turn 5 was where Verstappen sent it and overtook Hamilton.
Verstappen now snatches the championship trophy from Lewis Hamilton, who's trying to fight back.
And now all he needed to do was hold on. The championship trophy got snatched from Lewis Hamilton as Verstappen pulled ahead.
No, Mike, that was so not right.
Hamilton tried to fight back on the back straight where they almost made contact.
Back straight, he's got a slipstream. He almost touches Verstappen. They almost make contact.
Only one driver can win the championship though, and in 2021 it went Dutch.
Championship can only be won by one, and it's going Dutch in 2021.
Max Verstappen became world champion for the first time ever.
Verstappen, for the first time ever, is champion of the world.
The controversy wasn't about which driver was faster or who deserved the championship more. What happened in those final moments was about how the rules got applied when everything was on the line. Lapped cars will not be allowed to overtake, and then suddenly only 5 specific cars could overtake. Formula One history had never seen this before because the rule was always either no cars on lap or all cars on lap, never just some. Verstappen got a clear run at Hamilton with brand new soft compound tires against worn hard compound tires because of that decision. 1 lap, fresh rubber versus old rubber, and once those 5 cars moved aside, the outcome became almost inevitable. Everything changed because of that single decision. A championship got decided, careers shifted direction, team trajectories changed course, and fans started viewing the sport's integrity differently. Investigations followed the fallout from Abu Dhabi, along with rule changes and conversations about race control that still continue today. 2 incredible drivers pushed each other to the limit throughout 2021, but the season exposed something deeper and darker about the fragility of rules when the stakes reach their highest point. You may or may not agree with me, but I think Hamilton was robbed by Michael Masi. Why were just the cars between Hamilton and Verstappen allowed to unlap themselves, and not all? An FIA investigation described the incident as human error, and Masi was subsequently removed from his role as race director. But in truth, we'll probably never know why that decision was made. Some people say it was payback for the Silverstone crash, but Hamilton was penalized for that, and I honestly don't see why it was even brought up as a possible reason why the decisions in Abu Dhabi went the way they did. Well, at the end of the day, it is what it is. That entire season was an absolute piece of art, specially crafted by the racing gods. I love Hamilton, and I love Verstappen, and most importantly, I love this sport. What do you think about the horrific disregard of the rules which saw Hamilton miss out on his chance to grab his 8th world championship? Pour out your thoughts in the comment section. If you found this breakdown of F1's most controversial season valuable, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the moments that shape this beautiful sport.